What is up, you sexy aliens on the internet, and welcome to the Aquarius full moon video. We have a powerful Aquarius full moon happening this week in a couple days on August 9th. She's not coming to play, alrighty? We are going to be going to church in this video. As always, you want to watch the beginning of this video before you go skipping ahead to your sign. The beginning of this video is where all of the tea is. All right, just buckle up, get comfy. I want to get right into it because I have so much to say for this Aquarius full moon from your Aquarius moon friend over here. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, are we feeling these Aquarius full moon vibes? I know I am. Like, I have been seeing the Aquarius energy everywhere this week. Alrighty, I spent some time with my Aquarius rising friend who I absolutely adore, and it was such a incredible experience reminding me that we are fucking human and that is okay, and embrace the hell out of that shit. Love her. Anyway, with that being said, the chart should be up on the screen, and as you can see, we have a full moon here in the sign of Aquarius, right? A full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite of each other in opposite signs in the sky, which creates a full moon. The moon takes the sun's light and reflects it back to it, which is why we can see her lit up in the sky beautifully. Ran out of storage there, so anyway, but basically the moon shows us what has been hiding and lurking beneath the shadows. She brings things to the surface that have maybe been a bit more subconscious, and she shows us a lot about our emotions, our inner worlds, and what has been going on behind the scenes in our lives. So this can really equate to a lot of sudden realization, sudden downloads, like even integration, right? I really keep feeling like this integrative process is happening with this Aquarius full moon. But when we have a full moon in the sign of Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign, and because it's an air sign, it is social, and it is also ruled by Saturn and has a lot of fixed ideas about things progressing, etc. And because it's ruled by Saturn, it also rules over the misfits, the outcast, those that don't always quite fit in with society. And so a lot of the times an Aquarius full moon can bring up like a reject wound or an exile wound, wounds around belonging. You know, themes around collaboration, social agility, social dynamics, you know, the group and what's best for everybody and what's good for the actual collective rather than just one person. It's very opposite of Leo, which is, you know, ruled by the sun and is very much about the individual and, you know, how we see ourselves and how we're showing up and our self-expression and our self-esteem and, you know, having the power within and shining for who we are. Aquarius is very different. A lot of the time, a dynamic that I see with the Leo Aquarian axis, being both a Leo rising and an Aquarius moon myself, is kind of this like mix between you are really fucking special and really talented and really awesome and you shine and you're so gifted and worthy, and no one cares. And it's not all about you. And everybody is more worried about themselves, so don't take shit so personally. Like, that is kind of the mix up between Leo and Aquarius, right? A lot of the time. It's kind of like, you know, God versus human, right? Leo really taps us into like the piece of source, the piece of light that is within us all. And Aquarius can tap us more into the human or the parts of us that we don't feel like fit in as much or that we don't feel like belong as much a lot of the time. And it can show us where we try to like go along with groups or communities or, you know, other people, friends, where we've tried to basically fit in or earn love or earn acceptance or in some way or another, right? And so, but this full moon's very different. It's not necessarily asking us to like fit back into some old system or some old group, right? It's asking us to create a new sense of belonging within ourselves and within our lives. And it's kind of like a new sense of belonging that allows us to be real, that allows us to be all of who we are, imperfect, multidimensional, you know, yet still completely worthy and messy. It's like Leo is kind of like the superstar on stage, right? Like, which can be so mesmerizing and it can activate people and it can, you know, really draw a crowd, right? Whereas Aquarius is like, yeah, but like we're not seeing that superstar in like their really ugly and messy moments, you know, like, and so Aquarius is kind of like that in a lot of ways. It's, you know, it brings up like where we've been maybe editing ourselves to belong or to fit in or to think that we needed to be something that we're not. Right? Like that's really Aquarian energy, and what I've noticed a lot with Aquarius energy within myself and my moon sign and all of that. So I think that really with this Aquarius full moon, it's going to bring up our relationships with our social lives or with the collective or with the world, where we fit in socially, where we have these stories around who we are, where we've not been really accepting ourselves. It's like where we have wounds around belonging and rejection and fitting in. But the thing is like I was on a really powerful call today with one of my one-on-one clients, and we were talking about belonging. And I've literally just heard nothing, like literally all week this week, there's been, in every conversation I've had, there's been Aquarian energy, whether it's about belonging, standing out, fitting in, collaboration, social agility, like social dynamics, etc. It's all just so freaking Aquarian. And I think what happens is when we, you know, we've been going through Leo season. So when we're going through Leo season, it's like, yes, like I feel like I can express myself and take up space and like just be all of me. But then it's like those human parts that come up, and it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really go with my brand, you know, like, I don't know about that part. That part's a little weird. And we can basically reject our own selves. We can basically outcast and exile parts of ourselves and basically recreate this wound all over again. And we can recreate this whole narrative of like, okay, if we want to belong, we have to first belong to ourselves. We have to first like own who the hell we are. Okay. The other thing that's like really happening right now is this Mars, you know, in Libra opposing Saturn and Neptune, and therefore creating this grand air trine and kite between Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini. And so there's also a lot coming up right now around comparison. And something I say a lot is like, you know, when it comes to comparison, comparison is a gift. Why is it a gift? Well, it shows you pretty much where you either want to embrace more parts of yourself. You know, like if you're comparing yourself to someone else and you feel like, oh, that person's so amazing, it's like you spot it, you got it. It's like, okay, well, what qualities about them are you really attracted to? Oh, they're just so authentic. Okay, so where basically you're saying you want to embrace more authenticity, right? If you're comparing yourself to somebody on like a negative level, okay, it's like, well, I'm not like them, but I feel like I need to be like them, you know? That's more so like showing you where you're different, and you need to own that, because that's what's going to make you stand out, is the very things that you think make you different or not, that don't fit, you know, that make you not feel like you fit in. Those are the things that actually are your gifts. And so comparison is a gift. It's showing you where you either can embrace more of yourself, basically always showing you where you to embrace more of yourself, to own more parts of yourself. And so like, and when we think about it, like people aren't even drawn to perfection. They're drawn to like realness, relation, humanness, messiness, things that they can relate to that are real. That like, it's like, oh my God, I've been through that. I get that. Oh my God. Like, thank you for saying that. Like, I thought that that was like, if I said that, that I would be like outcasted, you know? So I think that this Aquarius full moon, along with everything else going on right now, and I talked a lot about this Mars, Saturn, Neptune opposition in the Grand Trine in my weekly video, so go back and watch that if you want more about that. So it's kind of like the part 2 to that. But I think that with everything going on right now, we are being called to embrace our mother effing truth. Our old stories, old paradigms that we've been living under are getting freaking cracked open. We are seeing through the illusion, and it's like, look, this is a time of integration. This is a full moon that is about integration. It's like, if you can't integrate your humanness and these parts about you that are messy and not always perfect and don't always look good, and you know, you're scared won't get validation, like, you've got to validate you first. You've got to validate you first. You've got to be your own best friend first. You've got to be your own biggest cheerleader first. And it's like, I think with this Aquarius full moon, so much of the lesson is like, maybe all of the downfalls, this is like a quote that literally came into my head this week, but maybe all of the downfalls that you had where you didn't get it like others got it, or where you didn't do it the way others did it, or where, it seemed like other people were succeeding, but you keep failing or having issues or challenges or whatever. Maybe all of those downfalls where you didn't get it like others got it was to teach you that you are different. You are an outcast, and that is okay. That their way may not be your way, that you have your own path, and it's trying to show you and help you walk that path rather than following some path that isn't really even your own. And so I think with this Aquarius full moon, another big message of it is like what once exiled you may now be the exact key to your belonging. I always say, like, your perceived curses are your greatest blessings when you can find out how to embrace them and work with them. When you can own them, it's like, and I was talking to my Aquarius rising friend about this week. I was telling her about, like, my quantum leap time periods and my quantum crumble time periods, and how, like, when I go through my quantum crumble time periods, I feel like really ashamed, and I feel like, I just can't help anybody in that state, and this, that, and the other. And she was like, well, I would actually want, somebody to help me that has been through these things, she was like, everything you're saying is so relatable. She was like, because I was like ranting and raving for like for a while, and then when I was done, she was like, dude, everything that you just said is so freaking relatable. Like, I love it. She's like, I could listen to you talk about this forever. She was like, you need to start sharing more of this on your channel and like with other people. She was like, I feel like so many people would relate to this. And I was like, I have been sharing, some of it here and there, but she was like, honestly, like I would want to work with somebody that's had, that knows what those downfalls are like. She was like, I've experienced them myself. I wouldn't want to work with somebody that's just like, completely perfect all the time. And so I think that sometimes we perceive certain things about ourselves, whether it be our past or whether it be, certain traits about ourselves as curses. But it's like, no, that can actually be your blessing. That can actually be your gift. I've had so many people throughout my spiritual journey and spiritual work, whether reading charts, clients, whatever, that come to me and they have the most incredible gift. Like, I would love to have, people would love to have this gift, right? Like, maybe they are super freaking intuitive, or they have some like crazy freaking like energetic powers, or they are super psychic, or like whatever. And they come to me and they think like, oh my gosh, this is a curse. This is so bad. Like, I've been, rejected and outcasted my whole life. Everyone thinks I'm weird. I just wish I could get rid of it. And I'm like, are you freaking crazy? Like, I mean, I don't say that to them, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, this is a gift. This is a beautiful thing. Like, this is when you can own these things about yourself. It's like you give yourself permission to be completely you. Like, I remember when I first started YouTube, and I've told this story before, when I first started YouTube, I was doing like beauty related content on like another channel. And I was so scared because, whenever we are new to something, right, we see what others are doing in that space, and that like starts influencing us. And we think like, oh, well, this is what's gaining success and this isn't, or this is how everybody else does it, so that's how I have to do it. And it's like, no, but that's what I was thinking at the time. I was new to it. And all I had seen at the time were like these super rich, perfect, put together beauty influencers that literally had no freaking blemish on their skin, no discoloration, nothing. Like, skin is just like glass all the time, even without makeup. And they didn't talk about anything deep. Like, they didn't come from like the same places that I came from. Like, I literally had just gotten clean the year before. Like, I was literally coming from addiction. I was like an addict for several years, and had a really, really messy, tumultuous, chaotic life. I had been through a lot of death, I literally died myself and came back to life, like was in ICU, just had all this crazy stuff happening to me in my life and that I was doing. And, I just was coming from this really crazy life. And I didn't see anybody else like that at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, so I didn't talk about that aspect of my life. I just hid it and basically tried to like fit in. And eventually, after a couple months of doing that, I just started feeling like super like weird and not like myself and not as like passionate or creative. Like, and eventually I kind of got this huge lesson and huge breakthrough, like that the very thing Like that whole time too, that I was like trying to fit in and all that, I kept trying to think about like what made me different. And that's like the crazy part about it. I'm like, well, what's going to make me different? What's going to make me stand out? And eventually I had this breakthrough. Like, number one, you're not being freaking authentic. You're not being who you are. You're not owning your past. And all of these things that you think are curses and that you think are going to make you like the black sheep of whatever, this community, are like actually the very things that are going to make you stand out, that are going to make you different, that are going to give you, like that are going to give the people, because I'm sure there's way more people out there that relate to that because it's real, it's human, than you just like acting perfect and putting on this performance all the time, right? Aquarius is like, okay, like Leo, like, because they're opposite, right? Aquarius is like, you don't need to perform all the time. Sometimes you need to just relate with the people. Sometimes you need to just be you. Sometimes you just need to let yourself be human and imperfect and messy and fucking own it. And that's like, I mean, just even being around my Aquarius rising friend the other day, because we have really interesting charts. Like, so she's an Aquarius rising Leo moon, and I'm a Leo rising Aquarius moon. So we're like literally reversed. So we have so many crazy similarities, but we also are like come at it from different angles a lot. And so just being around her just reminded me of this Aquarian part of myself that like I had forgotten, like, cause she was just so chill. She was just embracing who she was, like imperfections and all. Not that like she wasn't, not that she wasn't perfect, cause she was like, she was just like literally like, not second guessing herself, not all like trying to look a certain way. She was just her and just chilling. And it made me realize that I have a part of me like that too. But I've been so like caught in like old wounds of perfectionism and shame and judgment of myself and insecurities, and it really helped me to like just fucking relax, and like reminded me of this Aquarian part of me that's like, yeah, dude, like fuck it, you don't gotta fit. It's not about looking great and being on all the time, and putting on some kind of performance. And not that I really feel like I was necessarily performing, but I didn't feel like I feel like now, like with this full moon coming in, it's almost like I'm integrating both sides of me now. And it's just been really beautiful. Like I woke up today and I had like downloads happening as soon as I opened my eyes that were like, you're ready. You're already her. Go. And oh, come on, my screen died. And since that happened, I have been feeling, okay, it should be back now. I have been feeling like all day today, like, we're about to do some shit. Like we are about to do like, cause now it's like, okay, all of me is on board. The healing work and journey that I've been working on with myself has been, it's been a while now that I've been doing it, but I feel like I'm coming into like another peak period again. And I feel like I'm just integrating more and more and more of myself back. And it's just fucking awesome. Let me know if you're feeling like that lately down below. I'd love to know. And let me know if you're still with me. So anyway, but with this Aquarius full moon, I think that, we are coming into this point of like, we have to be the permission slip. Like we've got to give ourselves the permission. And the reason that I'm saying that is like, I know what it's like to like wait on the fence in your life because you think you need this or need that or need to do this or this needs to change or this thing's holding you back. And it's like, no, you can decide at any fucking moment in time that you are ready and worthy just as you are, and it is time to fucking rock. Okay? Like you are the permission slip. And I think a lot of this too is about speaking our truth. I think that's going to come up a lot. Okay, a lot over the next few days because I already feel it. It's like there's been so many things that I'm like realizing that like I've had a bit of a block, and like the last several months, and there's so many things that I'm realizing that it's like that block is like just dissipating, and it's like, okay, it's time to let the fucking truth out. Like it's time to speak your freaking truth, even if it is confrontational. Okay, because here's the thing. All the trailblazers, all the legends, did something that was controversial and oppositional at first. Right? Like they were edgy, they were different, they were like outside of the norm. They were outcast at first. Like that's why they are trailblazers. They're going down the path that was less walked, that wasn't walked yet. Like the trail was not blazed yet. They're going that way. Okay. Even people that came out with like discoveries of like things that are actually true or scientifically true, they weren't believed at first, right? They weren't believed at first because the truth only threatens things that are a lie. When somebody can claim who they are, own all the parts of them, like, you know, belong to themselves, be the permission slip, speak their truth, say the things that they want to say, it's only going to make those uncomfortable that are still believing in a lie. It's only because the thing is like, when you do that, and so much we hold ourselves back because of comparison and what other people are going to think, and we don't want to be the outcast. Own being the fucking outcast. Own being the black sheep. Like, your people will find you when you do that, right? That's the crazy thing. It's like, you can create your own place, right? Like, you can create your own tribe. You don't have to go find it somewhere, okay? You be it for yourself. And then by you being it, you are a walking permission slip for others. The people that relate to you and that are on your frequency will find you. And I always tell people this too, like my clients that have content or businesses or trying to get into YouTube or TikTok or like whatever, you've got to be the walking permission slip. Like, your truth and you owning who you are is how your actual real tribe will find you. This is how you will feel belonging. You can't feel like you belong somewhere if you have to edit yourself all the time. You can't feel like you belong somewhere if you have to try to change yourself to fit in and sacrifice your truth and suppress this and hold that in and change that part of your personality. Like, you know? So the trailblazers and the legends, you know, and those that were truth speakers, you know, the discoverers, like, they were controversial. It started conflicts, it started uproars, but that's why they became legends, because, oh, they found this new path. Oh, they, like, you know, they inspired the people that related to them. Oh, they were the voice for this crowd of people or these particular people. So you've got to be the walking permission slip. Like, yes, the truth, your truth, you owning who you are at first can cause conflict. But again, if it's the truth, if it's your truth, it will stand. Only lies are afraid of the truth. So anyway, I think that this Aquarius full moon pretty much is about us owning our differences, us owning the things that, you know, make us stand out, the things that, you know, are different and unique about us, and that, you know, being honest with ourselves about them. Even if they're sensitive, vulnerable, like even if we're scared that it's gonna, you know, cause us to be an outcast, own being the outcast. With this grand air trine happening between Pluto, that is, you know, also in Aquarius, and Mars and Uranus here, this is like some electrifying truths, downloads that can really, truly change things in a really big way. Like, people can fucking quantum leap right now, okay? People can quantum leap right now. Like, you can change your freaking life over the next week. This is a really, really, really huge time where we are facing the illusion of challenges that have been holding us back. Like, we realize that the things that have been holding us back that felt challenging or that felt real weren't really real. That we created it. That we created this story that we couldn't do XYZ, that we created this, you know, narrative that if we did this, then this would happen, or these people would be mad, or whatever the case may be. And this is all for our betterment, because again, Jupiter and Venus are coming into their conjunction right as all of this is happening. And Venus rules Mars and Libra, that is making all these crazy oppositions right now and starting all of this huge cosmic face-off that we are dealing with. Okay, and the moon is ruled by Big Daddy Saturn over here up in Aries with Neptune. So yeah, this is about our own individual wounds in terms of the collective. This is about where we have been not owning who we are, not owning our humanness. And when we can get that higher, you know, source part of us that Leo represents on board, plus our human on board, boom, we can make magic happen. So that is what I am seeing for this beautiful Aquarius full moon. This is like a wake the fuck up moment. Another really great example of this is, you know, Happy Gilmore 2 came out, and it kind of sent me down like an Adam Sandler movie spree for a couple days. And I rewatched Waterboy, which was always my favorite one when I was little for whatever reason. And as I'm rewatching it, by the way, too, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even remember that the girl in it keeps bringing up astrology. And I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. This was my favorite one, and the chick in it keeps bringing up like astrology. And it's the chick, I'm pretty sure it's the same chick that's from The Craft. And I never really completely saw The Craft all the way through, but I've gotten compared to that chick so many times, especially when I have dark hair. But anyway, so these transits remind me of that movie. Like, that movie's a really, really great kind of representation of these transits, because we have a grand air trine between the air signs, social, right? And he's an outcast. He's the water boy. You know, he represses his anger and people just make fun of him. And then he gets told to stand up for himself, you know, and to like own his truth. And so he like tackles this guy one day, and they realize, oh my God, like, you'd be a great part of the team. So he joins the football team as this outcast. But then eventually, like, the team starts growing to like him. He starts fitting into the team, and he's got like the whole freaking town behind him, grand air trine, right? But now he's got to face off he's got to face off with his mom, because now his mom is becoming like Saturn and Neptune, telling him everything's the devil and he can't play football, and, you know, just feeding him with like lies, you know. And then come to find out, his mom finally tells him, like, you know, actually, I've been lying to you your whole life. Your dad didn't leave. I was scared that your dad did just leave, and I was scared that you were going to abandon me. So, and then he realizes he's been like living under this illusion. And then his mom finally agrees, Mars and Libra, to allow him to play football and to allow him to grow up. Mars and Libra, opposite Saturn and Aries, right? And then also mom, Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, ruling Mars and Libra. I was just like, dude, this is so freaking perfect for this transit right now. Holy crap. So anyways, so that is what I have to say about this lovely Aquarius full moon. It's more than lovely. It is freaking powerful, okay? Like, there's so many downloads, so many jolts like that can come in right around this time. You may be feeling like your mind is really clear, or like you're having a lot of intuitive insights just hit you out of nowhere, or you're starting to see things clearly, or there's something shifting in your mind, or there's something coming out from your subconscious that is trying to get your attention. There's so many crazy shifts and powerful changes that can happen with this, seriously. So pay attention. Let me know down below what you are experiencing, and if this related with you. Comment down below, sexy badass alien, so I know that you watched until here. Thank you. Love you. And we are going to go ahead and get into what this means for your rising sign. Alrighty, Aquarius risings. Oh my gosh, that was such a powerful first half of the video. And if you're an Aquarius rising, you definitely don't want to miss the first half of this one, okay? Like, it's going to be very powerful for you too, I think. So anyway, for you guys, this full moon is lighting up your first house sector. So this is all about you, your identity, who you are, and reintegrating the parts of yourself that have maybe been a bit hidden or unconscious or left behind or ignored sometime in like the last several months. And so this is kind of like you really coming into some kind of integration with yourself, is how I really see this, like a really powerful kind of turning point and integration, kind of showing you the different parts of yourself that need to belong within you again and need to be a part of who you are and your identity and how you express yourself and your appearance and all of that jazz. Now, on top of that, this Aquarius full moon in your first house can definitely make you be feeling the feelings, okay? So you could feel a lot more emotional these next few days. You could feel like you are having some emotional releases, but this is all necessary. If anything does come up feeling-wise for you, make sure that you are allowing yourself to feel it, not just detach from it or disconnect from it or shut it off or, you know, intellectualize it. Like, allow yourself to feel whatever comes up. It's going to be very cathartic and healing for you. And so it's like bringing things up from the subconscious realm to help you to reintegrate, you know, to reintegrate something within you, or to let something go. You know, this could be like finally releasing a past version of you, or old traits, old parts of you that are just no longer really aligned. Whatever it is, it's definitely to do with you, your self-expression, identity, vitality, health, body. And it's really showing you what has been going on in your subconscious, in the kind of deeper, darker layers of your body, so to say, so that you can heal these things and reintegrate them. But overall, I think this is a really powerful and healing full moon for you in your first house. And then with everything else going on, all of the crazy stuff that we have going on, you're really going through a really positive, benefic energy right now in your workplace with Venus and Jupiter conjunct in your 6th house. This could be a lot of opportunity for growth and advancement, and, you know, whatever you desire in your workplace could definitely be happening right now, or could definitely happen right now. You could definitely manifest around this time. I think you're also really facing off with your beliefs, your opinions, and facing your truth and embodying your truth. And yeah, there could be a lot of big breakthroughs in terms of how you see things, your beliefs, the environments that you're surrounding yourself in, your sense of justice, your sense of, you know, kind of what you value and your morals in the world could be really coming up with this Mars, Saturn, Neptune opposition. So let me know down below, Aquarius rising, how that is resonating. And again, if you missed the first half of this video, go watch it. I talked about one of my best friends who's an Aquarius rising and talked a lot about just Aquarius as a sign. So you're probably going to relate to it a lot. So definitely go back and check that out. Comment down below, sexy Aquarius rising, because you are. And we're going to move on to Pisces rising. So for Pisces risings, this full moon is happening in your 12th house sector, boo. So this is all about the really subconscious, deep-rooted places where you feel that you don't belong, or where you have some kind of reject wound, or where you have some kind of exile wound, where you feel like, you know, maybe people are going to abandon you, or where you don't quite fit in, or where you feel almost like ashamed or humiliated for being human in some way, shape, or form. And so it could be bringing up some of these things because maybe some of these things lead into cycles or patterns or old addictions or self-sabotaging behaviors, where maybe you like cut people off very quickly and isolate yourself or detach to kind of protect yourself, or maybe you fight these feelings of feeling like you're a black sheep or outcasted, or, you know, whatever. But either way, I think that, and I really think the first half of this video is really going to be for you guys and help you guys a lot too. So if you missed it, you definitely need to go back and watch that. I think either way, this is reintegrating some subconscious parts of you that are going on beneath the surface, that it is time to heal, release, let go of, surrender, that are really holding you back, especially in terms of how you're performing at work, the goals and the ambitions that you have and the desires that you have in terms of your workplace. You know, like your desires are sacred, your desires are divine. But if you have these self-sabotaging patterns of, you know, that are somehow around fitting in or belonging or standing out or rejection or collaboration or like what other people think, or, you know, whatever the case may be, it's time to really face those. Okay. And so that's really, really huge this week with this Aquarius full moon. And then other than that, you are also having this cosmic face-off with Mars opposite Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd and 8th house. And so there could be something happening here where something outside of you, there's some kind of change going on outside of you that is rebalancing something. So maybe you took some action, or you had been taking some action financially, and, you know, maybe something comes around and kind of like there's like a reaction to some of those actions that you took, right? I don't want to say consequence, because I do think that all in all, this is like a good thing. And I do think that all in all, this will be like a, maybe a blessing in disguise, and maybe not even in disguise, like maybe just a flat out blessing. But either way, there's like something being balanced out here with your finances, where it's like, you know, maybe there was like a setback or a holdup or something going on financially, or maybe there's a, you know, collaboration financially that you've been trying to do, or, you know, work with someone else with. And so, but I do think that overall, this is to do something that you want. So this could be like investing. This could be like, you know, something involving around children with the ruler of Mars and Libra, Venus being in your 5th, something revolving around children or your heart's desires. It's like, okay, I'm making something right, or something is being made right. Something is coming back into equilibrium or fairness in some way, being balanced out or harmonized in some way. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Pisces risings. Let me know down below if that resonated. Again, go back and watch the first half half if you didn't, and comment down below sexy Pisces rising so I know you watched till here. Alrighty, moving on to Aries risings. For Aries risings, this full moon is happening in your 11th house of your friends, your connections, collaborations, you know, the different groups, communities that you belong to. You know, this could be an online group, a yoga class, a motorcycle group, like, you know, like an AA group, you know, or even just like, you know, how you categorize yourself. So it's like, oh, I'm one of those people, you know, even if you're not always like hanging around with those types of people anymore, right? Like it's things like that, right? So anyways, but this full moon is definitely bringing up areas in which your social life are involved and something needs to come to light and change, be let go of, or integrated here in some way, shape, or form. So with it being Leo season in the last few weeks and your energy being very much put towards your creativity and your heart's desires and your self-expression and maybe children or your own inner child, it's like, okay, where have you been stifling? Where has that been getting stifled because of your fears around rejection or being an outcast or other people or, you know, the collective, or bringing that out into the world because you're scared of what others are going to think? Or where have you not been embracing your humanness and your own relatability? Or where have you been being too perfectionistic, or like forgetting that it's okay to be imperfect or messy or human, and that you don't always have to, like, you know, fit in, that maybe some of these things about you stand out and they do for a reason. Okay, this is also a massive spanking, like a cosmic spanking and wake up call from the universe, where it's like something is breaking you out of some kind of spell, and it could come from another person or your relationship, or a change that you're making in your relationship, or a change that your partner is making or other people are making. It's like you are waking up in really, really big ways socially at this time. Are your relationships aligned? Are they what you want? Are they, like, you know, do they feel like they are helping you evolve in the way that you want to evolve and follow the desires that you have for your life? You know, these are really, really big things that you're weighing out at this time. So let me know down below, Aries risings, if that resonated. And if you missed the first half of this video, I really think you're missing out, because I really think you'd really relate to the first half of this video and everything I went over. Plus, just with the way that your chart is, I really do think that the first half of this video would be really powerful for you. So go back and watch it and comment down below sexy Aries rising if you watched until here. I appreciate you. And we're going to move on to Taurus rising. So for Taurus risings, this full moon in Aquarius is happening in your 10th house of your career, your public image, your reputation, your long-term goals. And it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is a social sign and deals with collaboration and other people and groups of people and a community. And so in some way, these two things are involved, like your career, your reputation, what you're aiming towards, your long-term goals, and other people and communities, etc. And so this is like a time where you could be like delegating a lot of tasks to do with your career or your business to other people. And, you know, maybe that's starting to come to light around this time, or maybe that's a realization that you haven't had yet and you have with this full moon. Maybe you are you know, something that you hadn't seen before is really coming to light in terms of your career or the people involved or your connections involved with your career. Either way, there has, you know, with an Aquarius full moon in the 10th house, you know, you could also be noticing certain differences between other people, or certain conflicts or issues between other people, or where you've been maybe going with the flow too much or trying to fit in too much, or where there's certain rejection or alienation wounds going on within your career that may need to be faced or addressed. And so this is kind of like, you know, it could also be like where you need to be more real and human and down to earth and relatable within your career as well. Okay. Now, on top of that, we have the Mars opposition with Neptune and Saturn happening right around this full moon as well. And again, this is your 6th and 12th house. So this is a really intense one here, bringing up subconscious patterns, cycles, dilemmas, addictions, habits, self-sabotage, where you can maybe work against yourself, or where you maybe have some really deep-rooted subconscious beliefs that are really holding you back. And then Mars is in your 6th house, really triggering these subconscious things and triggering these things going on behind the scenes. And it's like, okay, if you want to bring these things into harmony, if you want to bring your health and your diet and your day-to-day life and routines and schedules back into some kind of balance, we've got to maybe, you know, let go of some of these old beliefs surrounding, you know, your sense of self, or, you know, maybe like I could even see this being for a lot of you, like showing you that collaboration is okay, showing you that you can delegate certain things, or that you don't have to be in charge of everything, or that it's okay to allow other people to help you at times. You know, like I could see that being a really big lesson right now that Taurus risings could be learning. So let me know down below though, Taurus rising, if that resonated. And if you missed the first half, you are really, really missing out on this one. Like I am not even kidding about that. So definitely go back and watch that. This whole thing's like incomplete if you don't watch the first half. So anyways, comment down below sexy Taurus rising, because you are, and we're going to move on to Gemini rising. So for Gemini risings, this full moon is happening in your 9th house of your belief systems, your worldviews, your morals, your values, travel pursuits, educational pursuits. And with Aquarius being there, those that you're connected to around those different topics I just named up. So people you went to school with, people you're going to college with, people that are studying the same major as you, people that believe the same things as you, you know, basically like organizations, and people that have the same morals as you, or people that are from the same country that you're from, or live in the country that you live in, or things like this, right? Cultural and cultural kind of societal identities and collaborations and connections. And so this full moon's really bringing this up. Also people that share the same ideals as you, the same ideologies as you, the same beliefs, philosophies, religions, etc. This full moon's really bringing this up right now because, we've been going through Leo season, the sun being in your 3rd house, Mercury being retrograde there. You've been reflecting a lot on your own sense of truth and self-expression, and your own sense of community. On a higher level, where do you fit in though? Like on a bigger level, where do you fit in? Or do you feel like you don't? Or do you feel like an outcast in some way? Or is there some community in your life, or past communities in your life, or past bigger communities that were maybe around a philosophical ideal or whatever that you feel like you don't fit into anymore? Like these are the types of things that could be brought up, like, a church or a religion that, you feel like you didn't belong in. And so this Aquarius full moon could be bringing up some wounds around these things, like past things like this, but also showing you where you can integrate some of the more human, real parts of you rather than hide them. Okay, and kind of bringing in a new sense of belonging that you're more able to embrace, because you're able to actually be authentic. So with that being said, we also have Mars opposite Saturn and Neptune happening right around this time as well. This is happening from your 5th to your 11th house. And so this is definitely an intense transit. If you have been kind of, again, struggling with groups of people, where you fit in, where you don't, your tribe, your community, like all of that, this is a transit that's really triggering that, plus with this full moon as well. I feel like what I said in the beginning is really going to relate for you guys as Gemini risings, because I just see how a lot of that could connect here, especially what I was saying about trailblazers. I really think that, you've got to get clear within yourself and decide within yourself on what you love, Mars and Libra, and what your truth is. That way you're able to trailblaze it out in the world on a bigger scale. And I really feel like that's what's going on here. So let me know down below, Gemini risings, if that related. I'd love to hear your feedback. Go back and watch the first half if you skipped ahead, because you're really missing out on this one as a Gemini rising. And then also comment down below, sexy Gemini rising, because you are. Alrighty, moving on to Cancer rising. So lucky Cancer risings, having the Jupiter-Venus conjunction basically coming up here in the next few days in your sign, especially if you have your ascendant like right around like 10 to 15 degrees, like you are definitely blessed at this time. So, but anyway, this Aquarius full moon is happening in your 8th house sector. And so it's really bringing up your deeper and psychological connections with other people, with money, with survival, with power, and, themes around kind of karmic contracts, etc. as well. So these are like kind of the deeper themes that you could be seeing come up here. The 8th house is a bit of a more subconscious house, so it's not always right in your face, but this full moon can definitely be bringing somewhat of like an eerie vibe with it, and really showing you where you may have like old fears, old wounds around survival, or old, kind of wounds around power and powerlessness, old wounds around relationships and psychological things around relationships and your partner or finances, etc. So this could definitely be something that you see coming up around this Aquarius full moon, but these things are coming to light from your subconscious to be integrated, to be healed. So remember that this can actually be a very cathartic and transformative time for you if you really use this and really see where, you know, you may have had these blind spots. Now, on top of this, you know, we have Mars and Libra, even more social stuff going on here in a very sensitive part of your chart in your 4th house of home and family and your past, opposing Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house. And so this is definitely a time where you are maybe finally deciding in your personal life to change some things, you know, or to finally get off the fence in some way. And you're starting to see where maybe your past has been influencing your current actions, or where you have been stunted in growth and towards your goals and towards your desires and towards your ambitions and towards the things that you've wanted, because you've been caring way too much about what your family's going to think or other people's perceptions of you. So there's so many different ways that this could play out. I talked more in depth about this opposition in the August horoscopes video. If you haven't seen that, that was really deep for you guys, by the way. The Cancer rising horoscope in there was like I just started like channeling random shit. It was crazy. But anyway, either way, it's like you're being triggered to finally basically get off the fence, make a decision, follow your truth, follow your heart. And basically have both. Like, you don't have to leave your family behind to do what you want. You don't have to, you don't have to choose between one thing or another. You don't have to sacrifice something here. This is more about bringing your heart and your truth together, bringing your desires together, instead of needing to keep them separate. Okay, that's how I really see this. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Cancer risings. If you missed the first half of this video, you're really missing out on a lot. So definitely go back and check that out because it was super, super powerful. And then comment down below, sexy Cancer rising, if you watched till here, because you are. I appreciate you guys. And we're going to move on to my fellow Leo rising. So my lovely fellow Leo risings, this full moon for us is in our 7th house sector. So yes, it can be bringing up the topic of relationships and other people in our lives, especially those that we are close to or that we feel are like on our frequency or that understand us. But it can also be bringing up past experiences and past times and old wounds surrounding where we felt like misunderstood or we felt like we weren't quite belonging. And maybe even current situations for some that, you know, are making you feel like an outcast or like you just don't belong or you can't, like you have to keep it all together and perform and act like you're good all the time. And this Aquarius full moon is coming in to say, hey, no, you don't got to do that. Like, just be real, be honest. Like, you know, as long as you're honest and as long as you're authentic, like that's what freaking matters here. Right. And so this is a time where we can really find powerful, powerful change and integrating old wounds and healing them at the same time. It's like when we can kind of accept our humanness and our messiness and not needing to be on and pop in and, you know, like, over the top all the time and doing amazing things all the time. When we can kind of accept both the God and human within us, it's like that's when we do the best. And that's when we really, truly thrive. This time right now for Leo risings, I really feel like is like reminding us that like we've got to be our own permission slip. We've got to quit waiting around on permission. We've got to get off the fence and we've got to just own who we are again, claim who we are again, claim our truth again, put ourselves out there again, express ourselves again, express our truth again, you know, and just do it. Like that's literally all you need to worry about right now. And with the Mars and Libra opposition to Saturn and Neptune and Aries, I really think this is showing us where our truth is, like our own personal truth, and where we have been living under old beliefs, old illusions that are just no longer the case, that have been keeping us from like feeling a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. And it's like, it's almost like the dream that we have, the desire that we have maybe felt out of touch with, or we maybe felt like questioning our own self-worth and sense of capabilities of doing it. So Mars coming into Libra and opposing Saturn and Neptune is saying, you know what, no, I can, it's up to me, I have to decide, and I just have to be honest with myself, I have to get off the fence, and I have to embrace and accept and integrate these different parts of me, and that's how I freaking do it. So that's what I'm seeing for us Leo risings. Let me know down below if that resonated with you, and if it did, then definitely watch the first half of the video if you didn't, because that was really powerful, and you're really gonna, I think a lot of you will relate to that. And comment down below sexy Leo rising, because you are. And we are going to move on to Virgo rising. So for Virgo risings, this full moon in Aquarius is in your 6th house. So this is definitely like, you know, kind of showing you where you are different and where that's okay. This could be bringing up wounds in the workplace or in health related stuff or in routines, kind of where you have felt different, or like you didn't belong, or like an outcast, or like a misfit, or like you were exiled or something along those lines. But it's like, no, actually you're different. Just embrace that. Like that can be a good thing. Own it, claim it, like, you know, own your messiness, own your differences, own your curses, because they're actually your gifts, you know, like, and I just really feel like this is a full moon that's really kind of showing you what has maybe been underneath the surface and that's been kind of holding you back in terms of your habits and your day-to-day routines and your job and your health and anything revolving around those topics. And so this can be a very, very powerful moon for creating a lot of change in a short period of time because of everything else that we have going on around it. Like Mars in Libra opposing Saturn and Neptune in Aries in the 8th. You are coming up against like some really, really, really powerful shifts right now in terms of what you're capable of, in terms of making decisions around what you value and what your priorities are, and what is fair for everybody, and seeing where you maybe haven't been fair to yourself, you know, or where certain decisions that were made in the past or commitments that were made in the past haven't been completely fair. And so this is like, you know, finding fairness and balance and an equilibrium and harmony again within your resources, finances, and your capabilities and values and potentials and belongings and assets around those things, right? So this is like, what is your dream in terms of your financial goals, in terms of your sense of independence, and how can you start making the decisions and changing around your commitments and seeing things from a different perspective so that you can start making that happen. You could be feeling a massive drive around this time, showing you what you're capable of and showing you, giving you a lot of insight and intuitive insight and downloads and clarity around what you want to create and what you're capable of in terms of money, work, career, goals, long-term goals, health, and like literally what you can do, what your talents are, what you're good at, what gifts you have, etc. So this is a really, really powerful time for that. And you could meet a lot of really synchronistic and almost like spiritual connections around this time that really also like give you opportunities that help expand you. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Virgo risings. Let me know down below how that was resonating. I'd really love to hear what's going on with you. So let me know. If you missed the beginning, go back and watch that because that's going to light you up. Okay, so just go do that. Trust me, take my word for it. And then also comment down below sexy Virgo rising if you watch still here. That way I know. And we're going to move on to Libra rising. So for Libra risings, this full moon in Aquarius is happening in your 5th house. This is definitely showing you where the things that you're interested in, your heart's desires, the things that you love, the things that you like, your creativity, and even your own inner child is different and doesn't always, you know, look like everything else or everyone else, isn't always like on brand or whatever, and where you need to start integrating and embracing these things about yourself, like embracing your inner misfit, embracing your inner like rebel, embracing your inner outcast, embracing your inner black sheep, you know, like that is really, really huge. And this can all lead to really great, amazing potentials and opportunities and expansion within your career right now with this Venus-Jupiter conjunction happening in your 10th house, and Venus being such a powerful planet for you as your chart ruler as a Libra rising. And then Mars being in your sign is like a go-getter. It's like, let's fucking go. Like, let's get off the fence. Let's start making decisions. Let's start facing, you know, whatever has been holding me back feedback or whatever relationships or connections or dynamics or what I've thought other people are going to think about me, or what has been going on with my shadow self, or like whatever. Let's start facing these things, because I am driven and want to go after what I want. This is definitely a time where this is pretty much all about you, your identity, what you want, what you desire, what you like, and what you believe, and what you find purpose in. Okay, like that's what this time is about right now. And so that is what I'm seeing for you for this full moon as a Libra rising. Let me know down below, Libra, if that resonated and if you're seeing that come up in your life right now. I'd really love to hear some feedback from you. So please comment down below. Also comment down below, sexy Libra rising, if you watched till here, because you are. And if you missed the beginning, that's super, super powerful. So you're definitely missing out on a lot if you ended up skipping that and you don't go back and watch it. So moving on to Scorpio risings. For Scorpio risings, this full moon is happening in your 4th house sector of your home, family, private life, personal life, your past, your roots, and the things that you like to keep a bit more on the DL in your life, pretty much. Things going on behind closed doors. With a full moon lighting up this place, it can definitely make you feel a bit more sentimental, feel a bit more in tune with family and family dynamics and what's going on at home, more introverted. You know, there could be something going on with your family right now or going on at home right now that's really coming to light and that you're becoming more aware of. Either way, you know, with Aquarius being your 4th house, this could also be like maybe your home life or your family or your living arrangements or the way that you do things behind closed doors is different and isn't like the typical way that people do things, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe it was like that in the past or in your childhood or like growing up or something. Maybe there's been some black sheep wounds with family or some exile reject wounds with family in some way. And this full moon could be bringing those up around this time so that you can face these things and make really drastic, powerful change in your life that ends up affecting your career and your ambition and your long-term goals and who you are and what you're known for, right? Mars is now in Libra in your 12th house. Like, okay, it is time to face this behind the scenes stuff that has been keeping us wobbly in our lives and not completely moving forward. These self-sabotaging, you know, decisions or lack thereof decisions, or these self-sabotaging commitments. It's time to face this stuff and get off the fence. And if we want to see better results, better health, better physical health, better vitality, you know, better work life, you know, all that, there's a lot of work, career, long-term goal stuff going on. And there's a lot of like facing things that are a bit more hidden or in the shadows, dealing with old like psychological self-sabotaging patterns. But there's also a lot of beauty in terms of creativity and your beliefs and what you feel is possible and purpose right now as well. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio risings. If you missed the first half of this video, you definitely want to go watch that because it was really powerful. And as a Scorpio rising, the way everything's set up for you, I really think you're going to relate to the first half, maybe more than some other rising signs. So definitely go back to that and comment down below, sexy Scorpio rising, if you watched till here. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we're going to move on to Sag risings. So for Sag risings, this full moon is happening in your 3rd house sector. This is definitely a time where you are potentially going to be noticing more coming up around your environment where you live, your hometown, the community that you live in, the neighborhood that you live in, and the shared ideals in that, you know, community or in your neighborhood, or something going on socially around you, or maybe you go to some kind of concert or social event around this time and you know, are dealing with some topics of fitting in versus standing out. You're dealing with some topics of like, you know, belonging and potentially rejection. You're also potentially even like, it may not even be something going on around you. It could even be like a community that you're just a part of on a day-to-day basis. Could even be speaking your truth, you know, feeling different for your own ideas, opinions, and truth in some way, shape, or form. And so it's like you're kind of bringing these two different sides together. You're more human, maybe relatable truth and opinions and parts of you with your more like higher realm kind of opinions, beliefs, you know, philosophies, ideologies, etc., with the sun in your 9th and the moon in your 3rd. So like this could be a time where it's like, yes, I believe that, like, you know, we are all one, but I'm also going to go to this protest down the street, you know, like something like that. I don't know. Like, it's like, it's like you're kind of combining this, these two really different energies and trying to figure out how to integrate both of them of like, okay, this is what it looks like to be in this belief system, but this is what my day-to-day life looks like being in this belief system, and they're kind of different. So how do I integrate both? And you just do. It's like you own that, okay, this is what my day-to-day, devotion or whatever it is looks like, and it doesn't have to be like everybody else's, but I can still shine by embracing this. Could also be like, sharing more of your realness, your humanness, like on a podcast or something. Like this could be with your friends, like with siblings, neighbors, cousins, relatives, etc. as well. So anyways, we also have this Mars, Saturn, Neptune opposition happening in your 11th and 5th house. This is definitely a time where you could be feeling a lot of kind of a green light to finally go for the things that you're passionate about. It's like maybe you are finally realizing where you have held yourself back because of maybe fearing like not fitting in, or fearing what other people would think, or fearing not being like everybody else, or not, doing it the way everybody else does. And so it's like use these transits to see where you're different and claim and own those different parts of you. Okay. Like, and the beginning of this video can really, really, really help you, I think, too, as a Sag rising. So if you missed that, go back and watch it. Also, comment down below, sexy Sag rising, because you are. I appreciate you. And we're going to move on to Capricorn, last but not least. Alrighty, Capricorn risings, this full moon in Aquarius is in your 2nd house. Really, it's a powerful full moon that's really bringing to light a lot of things around your resources, finances, assets, but also your talents, gifts, and what you're capable of. Somewhat even like your self-esteem in some ways as well. And so this full moon can really be showing you where you've had these stuck old ideas around not being capable to do something, and where those ideas maybe were conditioning, or maybe were like, came from other people and weren't even yours, were kind of like passed down to you in some way. Maybe you're realizing that, you like maybe you've been kind of going after something you're really ambitious about financially, or like a business or a business idea or an investment opportunity or whatever with the sun in the 7th house. But then you're kind of like, well, actually, like, I don't need to always be chasing this like huge thing. Like I'm also cool with what I have, and that's okay. So it's like, how do I kind of, basically the way I see this is like, how do I kind of bring together this like, regal, maybe like boss babe part of me with this like, like I'm kind of happy, like, sitting in the grass or shopping at Goodwill sometimes, and it's like you can be both, right? Like that's like a way I could see this playing out if you're a Capricorn rising. But anyway, it's basically embracing, the parts of you that feel more regal and higher and like, confident and like badass, the parts of you that feel more human and different and outcasted and, alienated, and that's okay. And this could be coming up in your capabilities, talents, gifts, finances, assets, resources, and anything that you share with other people, karmic contracts, like deep psychological connections and relations with other people, commitments with other people as well. Now, Mars is now in your 10th house of career, opposing Saturn and Neptune and Aries in your 4th house. And so there could be some massive changes coming up in your career that really finally trigger you to make changes internally, and with your private life, within your personal life, within your home and family life. It's like maybe you've been having this desire, this dream to do something, and Mars makes some kind of change that finally triggers that. Okay. And it's like, Mars is trining, making this grand air trine with Uranus and Pluto. It's like, what are your goals? What are you really passionate about? What do you love to do? What do you love to learn about? And where can you make money from following these things, right? Venus and Jupiter coming into their conjunction in your 7th house. Like, this is a really great opportunity for connection and relationships and like, etc. And this Aquarius full moon could also be in your 2nd house. Like, hey, maybe it's okay to, be like, I don't know, like maybe you take care of the expenses for your family or something. And it's like, maybe it's okay to do that. Or maybe it's okay to collaborate in terms of finances, assets, resources, or maybe it's okay to delegate, like things like that as well. But anyway, so those are some of the ways I could see this playing out for you if you're a Capricorn rising. I also went into a lot more depth about this for each sign in the August horoscopes video. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. And then also, if you missed the first half of this video, you are really missing out. It explains it all in a nutshell very deeply, and I definitely think you'll relate to it. So anyways, go back and watch that if you missed it, and comment down below, sexy Capricorn rising, if you watched until here. That way I know. And that is it for this Aquarius full moon video. Thank you so much for watching, Cap risings, and everybody, if anybody else is still here, and I will see you guys in the next one.